I've just been driving down Montana to come here, and I noticed that all of the stores and shops are getting closed down now.
I've noticed that as well. The last year or so, I've noticed it seems like a lot of people are going out of business. But I think in a place like Santa Monica, I think we're a bit in a bubble where the economy is not as bad as probably what is maybe happening in other smaller cities. But I've noticed that myself. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's got something to do with the rent. The rent's really expensive here, which what we're going to talk about now is about the signing that new lease. But I think it's got something to do with that. And then as well, businesses in general, I think if you're selling a product, like for instance electronics, it's so hard to keep that business in business.
Yeah. Well, what's huge now? Amazon. I think they're putting retail. They're changing the retail game. So a lot of businesses.
Big time. I mean, that all I do now is shop on Amazon. A little bit too much, and you just it's perfect because it's got people's reviews on there. You can see it, and then you can buy the product no matter what you're looking for. I just go to Amazon, and
it's the best price check there is. Even if you're in a store, if you look on Amazon, say, "Oh, this is $69.99 here." If you go on Amazon and find it for $59.99, it's free shipping.
And then you've got reviews on it as well, which is massive. So now the boxinglifepodcast.com website is up, and I'm going to be putting some Amazon links on there. Some stuff that I recommend that you go out and buy to help change your life. We'll talk about that later on. So go to boxinglifepodcast.com, and then it's going to be under a section called recommendations, so you can check that out. So me and Kev, we've been in business now for coming up 5 years in November, correct? Yeah. And then we opened the Box and Burn Santa Monica location. Then we moved, after 18 months, we signed the next lease on the Box and Burn Brentwood location. It was a 3-year lease with a 3-year option. We missed the window on that. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that works with the option?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we definitely missed the ball on that, and in reality, though, we were going to have to restructure that lease considering the sound issues we were running into, anyways. But essentially, when you sign a long-term commercial lease, you typically, the landlord, once you sign, as long as you can get, whether it's 5 years or 10 years, and then you always kind of have an option to renew at the end of that first term. That option kind of gives you the ability to kind of lock in rates. Every year there's going to be an increase in rent no matter what, no matter where you are, but that option allows you to kind of lock in a lower rate and kind of keep the same terms that you had, assuming all those were good. So you don't necessarily have to renegotiate all new terms when that current term is up. But once that term is up, you have a certain amount of time to exercise that option. If you miss that window, then the landlord can kind of come back to you and really jack the rates up or do whatever it is they want to do, change the terms. And again, since we're amateurs at this is our second commercial lease, we did miss that. But in reality, like I said, we were going to have to renegotiate anyways because we had the sound issues with the tenant above, which turns out it wasn't even really an issue. It was just that the tenant above just wanted to get out of the lease without breaking lease.
Yeah, so what he's talking about there, we're underground in the Box and Burn Brentwood location, and it's like a medical building above us. There's like lots of dentists, doctors and all that sort of stuff. And then there was one furniture store, and the furniture store started to complain about how loud our music was. This was like after 2 years of being in business, but because they wanted out the lease, they needed an excuse to get out the lease.
Yes.
And then they took our landlords to court. So anyway, we end up having to go through a lot, getting a lawyer involved and everything, and they did. And now they've moved out the building. We've just signed a 5-year lease on the location in Box and Burn Brentwood. And I was saying to Kev the other day, I'm going to be 37. You'd be like 35, 36.
35, yeah.
By the time this lease is up, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, well, scary, but it's also, I don't know, you had mentioned the other day, we knew going into this building and into this space, and remember when we were talking to the other gym owner who we used to work for, he had mentioned he was looking at leasing this space.
Right.
You remember that conversation? I was like, yeah, why the fuck would anybody ever lease that space? It's a piece of shit. Like, so many gyms have gone out of business there. It's terrible. Awful setup, terrible location.
Yeah.
It turns out, 5-6 months later, we end up leasing it. But we got an amazing deal on it, and we've we've really made the most of it and been very successful there. And I think the exciting thing is we still have a lot of room for growth.
Yeah.
We're not even at capacity there yet, but the gym's doing well and making money, and trainers are doing great there, and we've kind of proved everyone wrong, I think.
Yeah, that was it. When coming to sign up, we were looking for our second location, and it's so hard to find a location. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, there's so many businesses going out of business because the rent's so high. Because this is underground, it's in Brentwood, which is a very desirable area in Los Angeles, where like lots of celebrities and high-end people live, because it's a fortune to live there. So this location, because it's underground, we probably paid 60% of the
market rate.
Of the market rate because of that, which made it doable for us to do. Obviously, it was a big risk taking that on board, because as well there was 3 gyms or 4 gyms before us that had failed in there, and people were saying to us, like you said, the business, that gym owner, nah, you would never rent that space, don't rent that space. Other people were saying to us, you shouldn't rent that space, there's that many gyms failed. But the thing that we said was like, but we're not like any other gyms, we're different, we confident. See, there's lots of gyms go into business to make money, which is one of the worst things you can do, go into business to make money.
Yeah, I mean, obviously any business, you need to make money to survive, but I don't think that should be your ultimate goal. No. Your ultimate goal is to provide the best product or service it is that you're kind of in, and what it is that you do, and you know, the rest of it will take care of itself. If you have a good product and you have a good service, if you've got good customer service, you've got good workers, good employees, good trainers in our case, the profit and the money will take care of itself.
There was a kid in Santa Monica gym the other day. I say a kid, he was about 20 years old, and he was shadowboxing in the ring, and Tony Jeffries. I went, oh, hi mate. He says, yeah, I want to be a pro boxer and I want you to train us. I went, all right. I went, I cost a lot of money. He went, well, how much? I says, like $300 a session if you wanted to train you for a fight. I can't afford that. I went, why do you want to be a boxer? He's like 20 years old. He went, have you had any fights before? No fights, no experience, nothing. He says, I want to be a boxer because I want to make loads of money. I went, mate, you don't want to get into boxing if that's the reason you want to get into boxing and make money. You're doing a complete wrong thing there. And Terrell was there, Terrell Hendricks, and I went, Terrell, tell him he wants to get into boxing and make money. And Terrell was like, nah, it's tough, but I'll train you. $80 a session, I'll train you. Terrell's jumped straight in.
He jumped right at that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, that's the worst thing you can do, going to boxing and make money. But maybe that's because of the scene, the Mayweather-McGregor fight, and how much money can be made. This young kid he actually does dancing on 3rd Street Promenade. He's one of these street performers. Okay. And now he wants to be a boxer. I'm like, nah, bad idea, mate. Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you're passionate about it and you think you can do well, I would hate to shit on someone's dreams, but at the same time, you've seen that side of the business and you really know how it works. And it's kind of like a hopeless romantic in a sense. They just want to, they think they can get there, and
it's not going to work.
What it is.
Yeah. So the business now, we've signed this 5-year lease, and like Kev said, we're not at capacity yet. We've got lots more growth. Like I feel like since we started, when we first really started business, it was trying to build and then like we broke even and start putting stuff into business, and we're building. And then for the last 2 years, it's kind of been ironing out all the creases.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then putting systems in place to make it run smooth, so we can concentrate our time and energy on other stuff rather than the day-to-day hurricane that's going on. And now we've got this lease, the creases are nearly flat now, well, they're getting there, and now it's about moving forward and progressing and really trying to blow up the brand as much as we can and maximize the potential that we've got in these 2 locations.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, on top of that, with Santa Monica, we're looking to nail down a new location. We're looking at a really promising prospect just up the street, actually, on Lincoln. When we moved in there, we signed a short-term lease, and ever since we signed, we've been there 5 years now, and we've signed a year extension, 18-month extension here and there every year to 18 months, and knowing though long-term they're going to be tearing that building down, so we have to find a new location there. But got a really promising and hopeful location just up the street, so hopefully we can get that nailed down within the next 6 to 12 months hopefully, and that'll be exciting for us. I think it would kind of bring a new energy and a new sense of some new momentum to Box and Burn, to the facility. We love the current location we have, But again, we need there's a sense of security, and there's value in security when you know that you can have a longer term lease. So that's something that we want to lock down too.
Yeah, it's been pretty well, like you said, not very secure, knowing that we've got until December, and then it's like, hopefully we can sign a new lease, hopefully. So we've always been kind of looking, but now it's like we know that all the buildings around us are getting knocked down, so we know that we're next in Santa Monica to get knocked down, so we don't know how far we can extend it. So once we can do that and get this other one locked in, and then, yeah, like you say, it's exciting. It's going to be exciting for clients to come and view these new locations and, you know, and then really progress the business.
Yeah, and it's so tough in Santa Monica. I mean, we got an unreal deal when we moved into our Lincoln Santa Monica location. But the real estate within the last 2 or 3 years in Santa Monica has just blown up to where, you know, the new buildings now that we're looking at, they're looking for $7 to $10 a square foot. And then, you know, you have a 4,000 square foot place. I mean, that's absurd. You can't, I think it's hard for a gym to survive, especially.
What's that? If it's $7 a square foot, it's 4,000.
So 28,000 plus triple net.
That's
triple
a
net
month for people.
Yeah. So after triple net and everything, that's going to be over 30
grand a month.
And that's so hard for a boutique gym. You know, the difference between paying 20 grand a month and 30 grand a month, you know, that 10 grand can make or break you, really.
Yeah.
If you're in the green, 10, 15 grand a month as a gym, you're profiting that. That's great. That's really good. So if you're paying that extra 10 grand in rent itself, then, you know, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. So it's an exhausting process to look and to find a location. But again, I think the location that we're looking at now can hopefully really work out. Yeah,
and a big thing as well, especially in Santa Monica, anywhere if you've got a gym, is finding somewhere with parking.
Yeah.
A place like Santa Monica where it's so hard to get parking, that's a huge thing. Not just the building. And then the price and everything. So it is tough, and this is why there's businesses going out of business. You know.
Yep.
So the lease that we've just signed as well, I said, yeah, it's scary. I'm going to be in this lease until I'm 37. Kev's like 35, 36. As well, it's like well over $1 million that we've just signed for. Now, like we owe over $1 million in rent, which is madness. To think, like where we're sitting right now, we're on Santa Monica Bluffs, where we first started the boot camp, donations only.
Right here?
Right here.
Yeah, right over
we
here.
were getting maybe $50 a class between 2 or 3 of us. Then we had to pay Glenn out with that as well. To sign $1 million, well over $1 million lease.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we've come far in such a short space of time. And one thing I put out on Twitter is like, if we were listening to these people who were saying, don't sign this lease here, you shouldn't do it, this is failed. If you're listening to all these negative people all the time, you know, you're not going to get that far. You really need to take that leap and take them risks to really do it, to get the different results. What's that saying? If you want something, no. If nothing changes, nothing. No, that's not the one.
There's something to do, like if you want something that nobody's ever had, then you got to do things that nobody's ever done.
So if someone's telling you not to do something, if they've been there and done it, then it may be worth listening. But if they've not, if there's people who've never done it before, like I'm talking about in this industry, people who's personal trainers who've never opened their own facility before, try to tell us, it's like, nah, mate.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got an opinion, you know, but again, if you've got that confidence and you've got the faith in your people and what it is that you do, then, you know, it'll figure itself out.
Yeah, the passion and drive. So what we're doing now, like I said, we look and concentrate a lot on getting this Santa Monica location sorted, and as well now, I'm putting so much energy into doing the brand awareness stuff, the marketing and all that, and really trying to blow it up. Because before I've been concentrating a lot on the Boxing Academy, and then which has kind of took my eye off the ball with the gyms. You've been doing all the other stuff, like the behind the scenes shit, ironing, training the trainers. We've both been kind of caught in a bit of a whirlwind where we've not been really progressing. But now we can progress forward, like putting charity events on. We've hired some guys who's helping us with marketing and stuff, which has been massive. We're getting more content created, like we're doing a video. We've got guys following us around a little bit, doing some video content to blast out on social media and on the website. So it's things like that is really big for brand awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went to a place called Kai's on Montana this morning. Have you heard of Kai's?
What is it?
It's this is so LA. It's like a vegan sushi burrito.
Never heard of it.
It's like
Doesn't sound like I'd go in there, but
no, it's so nice. It's like vegetables and stuff wrapped in some seaweed,
Mm-hmm.
and you eat it like a burrito. It was amazing. Anyway, why I'm talking about that is because the way that I found that out, the other night I googled the best restaurants in LA, and loads of YouTube videos come up, and I start watching them. I was, that's in Santa Monica,
Mm-hmm.
and I went there. There was tons of videos. This was just someone's blog. We never had many views.
Yeah.
So that sort of content creation, you don't know, or putting stuff out there all the time on YouTube or wherever, you don't know who's going to watch that.
Yeah, never. I mean, yeah, you really don't, and it's something that you've got a lot better mind for it than I do. I just, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it, and it's like I don't really. You got to really think about, I guess, the bigger picture, the larger picture. But yeah, like I mean, you've been doing it for so long, you understand that if you're consistent about it, you just put things out there day after day after day after day.
It's my daughter's walking up to the podcast. No, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, you've got to be consistent with it and keep putting stuff out, because you never know. Like we did a Box and Burn Academy in Denver last week, and there was a guy came up and said that he heard about their academy through. He somehow come across a Box Life podcast on YouTube in the recommend me. So he was watching a video, and where it says recommended videos alongside it, he seen the one where I had Trell, and I was talking to Trell about boxing, and that's how he kind of found out about the Box and Burn Academy.
Yeah. What it is, you're just increasing your exposure. The more content you put out there, the more of a chance that someone that might be interested in what you do is going to see it.
Yeah.
So you're just increasing your exposure and putting it out there. Now it's got to be good content. It's got to be quality content. It's got to be stuff that people will catch their eye, and it'll sell them on the idea of the product. But again, if you're putting that stuff out there like every day, then at some point or another someone's going to see it.
Yeah, I told you, I don't know how much I did tell you about the meeting that I had with John, the guy who does the marketing, branding awareness stuff. He does it for On It, Roots of Fight, Glory Kickboxing. He's Brendan Sharp's publicist as well, so he really knows his shit. I had a meeting with him. I've done a training session with him. Then I went for a coffee, and I asked him, like, how can we promote the Box and Burn Academy? What do we need to be doing on that?
Mm-hmm.
And he really said, well, it starts at the top. You need to be promoting the business owners first, to promote you guys, and then people will see you. They'll see you own Box and Burn gyms, and then then from there that'll filter down to the Box and Burn Academy.
Mm-hmm.
He said if you needed to put so much time and energy and money into a product, it's kind of not the right product.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, with Box and Burn when we started, we didn't put. I mean, the organic growth was so big for us. We didn't put that much effort into the branding and anything from the beginning. We barely spent any money on marketing and promoting in the beginning. Again, I think because you were so good about putting content out there, that kind of took care of itself. But at the same time, if you have a good product, the people that are engaging in your product, they're using the clients or the members. If they love that product, they're going to want to share that word. They're going to bring people in for you. In LA especially. In fitness, people want to think that they're doing the hardest workout, the best workout. And if they feel that they are, and they feel that what they're doing at your facilities, in our case, Box and Burn, is amazing, they're going to want to bring people there. And it's not even, I mean, I think having a great loyalty program and referral program is important, but we never even had that. We're working on implementing a little bit more thorough and better referral program now. But again, people will promote for you. And you gotta ask, but they'll do it. There's
a podcast by a guy called Pat Flynn, and I'll get this in the show notes. So if you go to boxandlifepodcast.com and go into the show notes for this episode, it'll be in the show notes. Pat Flynn, it's called Being Everywhere, and he's talking about you want to kind of be everywhere, not spreading yourself too thin where you can't do stuff good at everything. But like now we've got the podcast, we're doing blogs, we're all the social media, with the YouTube, the Instagram, the Snapchat, the everything. So we're being everywhere. So check this out, and it's really interesting to find out where this guy, he's a podcaster, but he gets most of his business, and he's smashing it through writing blogs, where you would think, because I don't personally read blogs, I write one, but I don't read them. Like, it's like, who the hell reads blogs? But there's thousands of people do.
People do, yeah. Again, it's just exposure, like you said. It's just about exposure, and the more you can put out there, the more content you can put out there, the more exposure, the more likely you're upping your chances of someone getting, having some peak interest in your product or your service.
Right. We were at Perform Better last weekend. Another thing, how we getting the brand out there, and we had a booth there. Cost $1,000 for 3 days. There was 600 or 700 personal trainers there. It's how would you explain the Perform Better? What it is?
Well, they just bring some of the biggest names in the industry in to do seminars and speeches and hands-on workouts, and it's just a great place for anybody that's in the business to kind of come and see what are the new trends, what are the new theories and philosophies out there, and you just get to hear from some of the absolute best in the industry, and the ones that have been there and seen the twists and turns that the industry has taken, and they can kind of help you navigate yourself, you and your product or your service through it.
Yeah, and it's a good event, it really is. But we've been there as kind of clients the last few years, but this time we had a booth there meeting all these personal trainers, which is great for the branding and networking. And a guy called Luca, I can't pronounce his last name. I should have wrote it down and you would have been able to read it. But Luca, he owns Vigor Ground gym in Seattle. This will be in the show notes, so go there. And he's doing a business summit called Vigor Ground Fitness Business Summit. Again, that's this month, right? Is it the end of September? We're going to go to Seattle. If anyone's around or listening to this podcast, we'll be in Seattle doing the Business Fitness Summit by Vigor Ground. And again, we're going to be meeting all sorts of business owners, trainers, and that's another thing, like what we're talking about, being everywhere, getting your name out there. We really are getting our name out there and getting bigger. Yeah.
Well, with that, I think the big thing's networking there.
Yeah.
And everyone tells you how important networking is. And it's a hard thing sometimes because it almost feels like you kind of have to suck up to people and do whatever, but that's not what networking is.
No.
It's especially when you're genuine about it, and people notice that in you when you're passionate about what you're doing, and you want to talk with somebody about hey, what it is that I'm doing, what do you do, how can we kind of help each other, how can we give advice to each other, because we all have different perspectives and viewpoints and experiences. So it's just, again, it's networking.
There's kind of like a bit of a circle that we're in now. Like, I feel like with the podcast, talking to like say Jeffries, the Mind Pump Boys, Ben Greenfield, and a few more. I don't know if I've told you this, but like every now and then I get an email off like Jeffries saying, Tony, meet Andy Murphy, the guy who was on the last podcast. Andy, meet Tony. Tell us a little bit about, and introduces us.
Yeah.
So these guys who's top networkers, they're really helping other networkers network.
Yeah.
So and it's amazing. Now Jeffries was doing this for us. That means I'll do anything he wants for him, because he's such a nice guy, putting us in touch with these people, and then now these people are putting us in touch with other people, and it's just really expanding the network.
Yeah, you scratch their back, I'll scratch.
Exactly.
It's
and I've started to do it too. I've been introducing people who I know to other people. Now they're going to podcast together, and then that just looks good for us. And yeah, like you said, you scratch their back, they'll scratch your back. A big thing that Luca told me, I went for lunch with him, was about something that you've been saying for a long time about doing charity events, which for I can't say the word. Philanthropy. Is that an American word or what?
I don't know. I can't say I've never been to England, so I don't know.
I've never heard it before. I come off you. But he said put these charity events on in your gym. He does one every Sunday, and it's 100% of proceeds go to charity. Bring 3 friends, get a free T-shirt, and now you're building this community, building this network of people, and more people's getting introduced to your product.
Yeah, you're building your presence within your community, I think, and that just it's a something that kind of people gravitate towards. If you can have a great product and a great service and a great whatever it is you do, but if you don't give back, if you don't kind of spread your wealth and help the people in your community, then at the end of the day, what are you really doing and why? I think especially with gym and fitness, we are such a community-oriented gym. And we have such a strong presence in the community, and we have the ability to kind of do these events and to help and to give back. It's something that if you're not doing it as an elite business, you're kind of missing the mark a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And and I never really understood much about it until then. So now we're doing some charity classes at Box and Burn as well, and then you're involved a lot with Alzheimer's. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I've done the walk to end Alzheimer's in Louisville, Kentucky the last 2 years. My mom was diagnosed 4 years ago, so it's something that's very, really resonates with me, something that's very important for me. And, I did really, really well at fundraising, and, it's never something that I've done well at. And we say all the time, I'm not a salesman, I'm terrible at it, but when it's something that, hits home for you and you can make an impact in a big way, it motivates me to do it. I get almost competitive about it in a sense. And so last year and with the Kentucky Walk in that region, I was the top fundraiser between Kentucky, Southern Indiana, I think maybe parts of Tennessee. Between all of those walks, I was the top personal fundraiser in that whole region. So it's something that, it was super rewarding and gratifying for me, and I got a lot from it and learned a lot about it. And so I figured this year, why not get involved more with the walk in LA, because this is the community that I'm involved in, and I think I can have even a further reach and further impact, myself, but then also through Box and Burn. And so I'm working with the leadership committee on the LA Walk to End Alzheimer's this year, specifically working with sponsorship, team recruitment, and this is something that's brand new for me. I've never really worked in the nonprofit before. I don't really know how this works, and again, it's hard to go and ask people for money, but in reality, if you just tell people your story and tell people why you're involved in this and why you're doing this, everybody can kind of relate to that story. And unfortunately, more people than you would realize have been affected by Alzheimer's or dementia at some point in their life. So just sharing your story and letting people know what it is that you do, that they love that, and they love to see people, that are passionate and kind of excited about fundraising for such a good cause. And a lot of people don't realize this, but here, I'll read some facts that people really just don't realize how far-reaching Alzheimer's is.
What's your if someone wants to donate, Kev, we'll put this in the show notes as well. What will it be? So
you can donate, or you can join the team. If you're located in the LA area, we're really looking for sponsorships. That's a big thing that we need. But we'll put the link there. It's going to be act.laz.org/go/team BNB. So we'll put that link in there.
Yeah, we'll get that in the show notes.
You can go there, and you can either join the team or you can donate to our page. I've set the goal of 20,000 for our team. The walk is November 12th, so we've still got 2 months or so till then. But we've got. I think we've got, I want to say, a little over $5,000 right now total. Nice. We're the number one team in all of LA, but the last two 2 months is when everyone really kind of starts to everyone procrastinates on the fundraising. But again, we've got 2 months, so in reality, I'm not telling many people this, but I think we can hit 30,000. Hopefully, we got a few events planned for it, and hopefully we can really make a big impact there. So there's some crazy stats. If you guys aren't familiar with this, most people don't realize 15 million Americans provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's or other dementias.
Wow.
Hang on. I got a buzz. All right. Let me go back. Okay, here we go. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia.
Bloody hell.
It kills more than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Since 2000, deaths from heart disease have decreased by 14%, while deaths from Alzheimer's disease has increased by 89%.
Wow.
Every 66 seconds, someone in the United States develops the disease. More than 5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. By 2050, this number could rise as high as 16 million. Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. Most people just don't realize that. And I think a big part of it now is, the baby boomers are, if you guys are familiar with what a baby boomer is, those seniors are now getting to that age. And my mom was only 60, what was she? She was 63 when she was diagnosed. She was only 63 diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Wow. 4 years in now. But, the early onset and all of those things are just becoming such a big problem these days. And, I think it's a lot to do with lifestyle and how you diet and what you eat and, the sugars and the artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners and all these things that, our society is just so unaware of. So a lot of it just becomes awareness of lifestyle and awareness of diet and what it is that you're putting in your body and the kind of lifestyle that you live. But there's so much research. I think Congress just approved, I want to say, $4 billion in funding for a cure. And it's been such a political thing for so long because who gets Alzheimer's? Well, the older people. And why do we want to invest all this money in people that are aging and getting closer to death anyways? I know that's a dark thing to think about, but in reality, if the ages where people are being diagnosed with Alzheimer's just keeps getting younger and younger, we're forced to face that. So, again, they're pushing another bill now to get more fundraising. But again, the awareness and the money altogether is really growing and becoming something big, and they really do think they can find a cure. And if not, a lot of that money goes into awareness of how do we avoid getting that disease in the first place.
Awareness of that, it's the 6th leader of death in America. That is crazy because I don't think, since we found out about your mom and your mom's had it for a few years now, like we find out a few other people got it, me personally I did, but before then I never knew anyone that had it. So you think that it's not that big of a deal. A few older people get it. We all see the movie The Notebook, which was really big for awareness of it. But I mean that's crazy. So what can the cure be for it? Is it diet?
Well, I think that's again they're investing. There was a 60 Minutes. I want to say 6 months or so ago about I think it was Medellin in Colombia. There's this little bubble of there's a family where in the 30s, people in their 30s are being diagnosed with this. So, and every family member is has a 50% chance or something crazy like that of developing the disease. So they're putting a lot of energy and efforts into studying this family because they're able to realistically guess who's going to get this disease. So they're giving them pre-treatments in a sense to see if maybe if we can narrow down who we think's going to develop this disease, if we give them some sort of treatment before they actually they're actually diagnosed with the disease, maybe we can fix it that way. But there's a lot of science to it, and there's a lot of complications that I can't necessarily explain well. But again, a lot of it I do believe is awareness and just understanding what are you putting in your body. And avoiding those things and just knowing what Alzheimer's is and what the warning signs are, because the sooner you can kind of address it, the better. But I think the biggest thing now is just helping raise awareness and helping raise funds and because that, sixth leading cause of death now, but if, by 2050, if that many people have it, then, you're talking about maybe a top 3 leading cause of death in the U.S. So it's just one of those awful diseases that just gets swept under the rug because it is something that nobody wants to talk about. There's nothing sexy about it. There's nothing that, it's just an uncomfortable topic, but we kind of have to break that and really move forward. Is
Alzheimer's a form of dementia? Is that right or not?
Yeah. It's I don't know the exact science behind it, but I think dementia is a form of Alzheimer's. Yeah. I think to a lesser degree it's not Alzheimer's, but I could be wrong in that. I want to overstate or say something I'm not exactly sure of it.
Yeah, because that's something that I was worried about in the past with doing boxing, getting punched in the head all them times. That's obviously it can cause dementia, and we've seen it with lots of fighters. You know, it's a scary thing.
And what it is it's essentially it's your temporal lobes on the outer sides of your brain. They essentially begin to decrease in size. They begin to deteriorate, and you know it just you lose, you know, your most current memories, and then at the later stages you essentially start to forget everything about your childhood, your parents, your kids. And at the very end of it, the very last stage, I mean, you forget how to walk. Most people are bedridden for a year or two, or if not longer, before they actually pass. And you know, at the very end, you forget. Your body essentially forgets how to breathe.
Wow.
That's how bad your brain deteriorates, and you just lose your motor skills and you know, those essential things that you need to live, such as how to eat, how to walk, how to breathe.
Right,
it's just terrible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So guys, this is episode 68, so it'll be boxinglifepodcast.com/68. Go there and everything Kev talks about, and join in the Box and Burn team, BNB team, for the Alzheimer's walk in LA. If you can donate anything, $1, $10, whatever, it all adds up, and it all helps.
And they do these walks nationwide. I think even globally, I believe they do some. I'm sure they maybe do one in England, or a few in England, or maybe. And I think I've heard they've done one. They do one in Ireland. So if you can't donate or whatever, get involved anywhere around where you may be. I know we have a lot of global listeners and people across the nation. Just get involved wherever you can. It's something, again, that is really, really important. And you know, let's make a difference. Let's find a cure for this.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, that's terrible. When we're going to Vegas, the beginning of October, we're going to interview a doctor who's an expert in brain health. I can't remember his name, but I'll get it and put it in the show notes as well. We're going to the Cleveland Clinic. That's where I've done my brain test last year. I also done a podcast about the effects of what boxing's had on my brain. So, and I went and done the tests. Anyway, so that'll be in the show notes. That podcast episode, you should listen to that. I forgot where I'm going now. I've got these kids running around wild. We're at the Palisades Park. So boxinglifepodcast.com/68. And we're going to interview this doctor, so it's going to be interesting for you, Kev, because I know he works with Alzheimer's patients as well.
Sure.
And he's an absolute stud in the field. So that'll be really good to talk about that. Mm-hmm. You know, something else I want to talk about. I heard this quote. Have you heard it before? Practice makes permanent.
I've not heard that. You sent it to me earlier. I thought that's what. I think there was a typo. I didn't know exactly, but practice makes permanent. It makes sense. I like it. Yeah.
I don't know. This girl was in the gym. She was training with Terrell, and she said that she was training at the other gym, and a boxing wasn't very good. And she says, like her old dance teacher said, practice makes permanent, and I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
It's
because
good.
it's like if you're boxing and you're practicing boxing all the time, but you're practicing it the wrong way, it doesn't make perfect. It makes permanent mistakes.
Yeah. You know, I made a post on Instagram about this. I think we can relate it to this a little bit earlier this week about, you know, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. And again, if you do one thing, or you know, anything you do, if you practice it and you do with bad habits, don't expect to be able to go and do something else and have good habits. You know, it's an attitude, it's a way of life. You have to really dedicate yourself to doing things right and doing things, you know, and putting, you know, a lot of effort and energy into always being the best you can be at whatever it is you're doing, whether you're you know, learning how to box, or you're stuck in a dead-end job that you can't stand. You know, a lot of times it's hard for us to maybe make an immediate decision to up and leave that job or whatever, because we got bills, we got kids, we got to pay for whatever it is. Don't just, you know, fall in that rut and say, okay, I hate this job. I know when I leave this job, I'm going to do whatever that is. That my next job's so much better. Don't just think that way. Think, okay, let me do great at this job. I may hate it, but if I can form the good habits now, form the right work ethics now, and really commit to being excellent at something that I'm not great at or something that I'm not passionate about, imagine how good you're going to be when you actually find something that you're passionate about and find something that you're excited about. So don't just expect to do something bad because you hate it and then all of a sudden find something you love and expect to be great at it. You have to have the right work ethic and the right principles and the right attitude in anything you do. It's not a switch. You can't just turn it on.
Definitely getting them good habits, like you said. And I love that quote, what you say, the way you do one thing and the way you do everything. And it's, I mean, you know me better than most people, Kev. I'm one who rushes into stuff and does stuff on the fly to get it done fast. But when I think about that quote, it really makes sense. Like, do it right the first time, and then you're not going to have to do it, keep redoing it. But like this, so that ties in really well with practice makes permanent, because you need if you're doing something right all the time, you're practicing it. It's like the marketing that I'm spending lots of time in now. I need to practice it right and do it right. You know, when I was boxing as well, it took, when I moved to America, Tommy Brooks, my trainer, from boxing like this to this, moving me left lead hand up about 4 or 5 inches, not even that, 3 or 4 inches, that it took us like 6 months to be able to do that, because I'd been practicing and I permanently had me hand low, so I wasn't practicing to make perfect. So it took that long to get it up because I was in them bad habits. You know, so I love that. And she was a dancer that was telling us about that.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
You know, the other day I was driving, talking about networking and the way things happen. I was driving down Wiltshire Boulevard on the way back from work, and I was dropping Big Jack off, who was staying with us, and I wanted to reverse into the next lane. So I looked in my side mirror and there was nothing behind us. I put my foot, put in reverse, boom, smashed straight. There was a small car behind us, a small Toyota, smashed straight in the back of it. I was like, oh shit. So I drove around the corner, I followed it straight around the corner. I was like, oh my god, these people in LA can be harsh. So I went in the corner and I got out the car and I went, listen, it was a young girl. I went, listen, I'm so sorry about that. She went, oh, it's fine. She had a cigarette. Oh, it's fine. I went, all right. I went around and there's a big, massive crack in a bumper, on the front bumper. And I went, oh, I'm sorry about that. She went, no, that was already there. It's all good. And I was like, wow. And she seen the Boxing Burn. She went, oh, you go to Boxing Burn? I went, yeah, I'm one of the owners there. Oh, really? Oh, I've heard all about that gym. I'd love to go to that gym. I went, oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, you did call us that crack. Can I get a 6-month free membership?
Yeah, but I just said it was true. We went, oh, well, I'll be able to give you a free month if you want. Oh, yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm so happy. And now so I'll give her a free month. She's came to the gym and she signed with a friend, and a friend signed up for a month as well. So, so that crash ended up getting us like $200 a month, at least, for one. You know?
There you go. That's turning the negative into a positive. I know you're big with that.
Yeah, big time. There was a set before Sarah was pulling in. It was when she was pregnant with a second baby. She was pulling into the.
I remember this.
Yeah, and she touched a guy's wing mirror, and he got out of the car and he started shouting at her. What? Look at this! It's a big scratch, and there was. I swear down, there wasn't a fucking mark on the car. There wasn't a mark. Sarah would come and told me. I come out. And went, what? I went, look, there's a scratch there. I need $100. $100? Mate, fuck off. Oh, about that. Nah, there's a scratch there. I'm going to tell the police. And I took photos of it. But that's earlier. So I had that in the back of my mind when I crashed into this girl, and she was the opposite. She was fine. You know. So moving on, we are signed this 5-year lease. Now it's about promoting the business. So where can you see us, Kevin, in 5 years?
Well, I'd like to have, we'd like to be, obviously we already are a staple in Santa Monica and Brentwood. I'd like to become a staple in Hollywood in another 5 years, maybe one other location. Or if not, maybe, work towards building a franchisable or a license or an affiliate style program where we can really expand our reach nationally or globally. That's something we've always kind of had in the back of our head. And it's hard to focus a lot of energy on it because we have so many other day-to-day things. But I think if we focus and get all these little day-to-day things right, and we get all these processes right, then that's just setting us up for success to be able to expand and have a model that can be, usable in other gyms or other parts of the country or even across the globe. Yeah,
because we still get asked all the time, can I get a franchise? Or affiliate and all that? And right now we're not ready because we don't just want to do it and earn a quick buck. We want to do it and keep the quality high. I think that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if we rush into it and we just kind of give in to these people that want to do that. I mean, sure, there's always a chance it could work out great, but in reality, you could really tarnish and kind of hurt the brand if you grow exponentially and on a large scale, and then all of a sudden we're open in Miami and New York and Chicago and San Francisco, and then all of a sudden those gyms don't do well because you and I at this point still need to be around to really make sure everything's going well. But again, if we expand too quickly and we don't put the efforts into getting that model to a place where it can be replicated by someone else, then it could end up hurting the brand really.
Yeah, and I think another thing what we've been speaking about lately is doing like an affiliate where what's it called, Warriors, what Martin Rooney's product, he does it where
I'm not sure.
Wrestler, Ultimate Warrior. No, it's the what's it called? His Warrior thing. Anyway, he's got a class that he puts into different gyms, and if we can somehow get a system where you might have a gym and you want to introduce boxing because it's the most popular workout there is now, you can be able to put a boxing burn class into your gym, and then by paying a monthly fee, I think that would be really good. Sure. And hopefully we can be in 100, 1,000 gyms around the world doing that. Yeah. And as well with the Boxing Burn Academy, that's going all directions, which is fantastic.
Another thing I think that is exciting and I think is important for most gyms or most fitness facilities and classes is introducing some form of technology to the class, and we want to do those videos. If you've ever taken our classes or you've seen how we run our classes, we've got the 3 stations with rings, bags, and conditioning. We want to put rather than just having a trainer on the floor shouting their head off and maybe you hear, maybe you don't. We're going to have videos up on the wall with different combinations for the heavy bags, different instructions, and then for the conditioning, we'll we have 4 exercises, and maybe we'll have the 4 exercises up on a big screen that are kind of showing you what the right form is, what the right technique is. With the timers telling you when to switch. We gave the idea of the heart rate monitors a try in Brentwood. Maybe something we'll revisit, or something with Hicksco or something. I'd like to really find some ways to really introduce some really functional forms of technology within the classes. I think that's an exciting thing, something people really like.
But the technology, I remember, I don't know if you were in the meeting when we went with that guy, Joseph, the investor guy, the loaded guy, and he was telling me about a gym that he wanted to do where it was like in shopping malls where you've got your equipment in front of you and then it's on a screen. Like it's kind of like you pay as you go. You put your money in, like it's like a slot machine, and then you're in your little station with your equipment, and you watch a video of a workout. You pick a workout you want, and so everything's computer. You might need one member of staff in there just to make sure everything's running well all day on minimum wage. Yeah. But I mean, that sort of business model sounds nice, doesn't it?
It does. Sounds nice. Sounds minimal amount of effort and minimal amount of overhead, which is nice. And then what we've spoke about before is the possibility of kind of getting into the virtual reality world at some point with what we do. We don't want to get too far because I don't want to give away the idea.
Yeah, that would be good. There's a store opened up on 3rd Street in the mall at the bottom there. Have you been in that one yet, where it's all in new inventions?
I don't think so. What's it called?
It's really good. I can't remember the name. I'll get it though. And it's got them things where you put them on your eyes and your ears, and it looks really, really good. And it seems like that's where the future's going. It's scary at the same time.
It is, yeah, it is. But I mean, you can make the case about this thing. I mean, we're on this all the time, and anyways, and so I think it's just the natural progression of society. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you can stop technology. Technology is king. Yeah.
I watched that video again the other day of that Simon Sneak, where he talks about the millennials. Have you seen that? Yeah. And this will be in the show notes, boxinglifepodcast.com/68. Watch this video from Simon Sneak. I can't pronounce his next name, but talking about the millenniums and how this generation is fucked up really through not just through technology but through the parenting as well. Because parents tell people, what's it called,
millennial, the generation.
What age group they are?
It's like 30 to 18 or something.
It's from, if you were born 84 and above.
Okay.
So I was born in 85, so I sneak in there as well. You were 86.
86, yeah.
So, but I feel like we're good, because what he's saying is parents these days tell the kids that you can have anything you want in life. and now you're getting awards for coming in second, third, fourth place. For everyone gets an award for taking place. So kids think now that they can that they can just go out in a job, and if they don't enjoy it, they can change the job and do what they want. So you need to watch this video. It's like a game changer. And then there was that podcast with Kevin Cruz. You listened to that one as well.
Yeah.
Where the guy said, these days everyone's career. They change their career every 4 years.
Yeah.
And within that 4 years, they have 2 different jobs. I mean, we can see that. We've been in business for 5 years now, and we can see kids doing that. They're coming in, they're working for us, and they work for someone else. Then it's like, nah, fuck the fitness industry. After a few years, I want to do something else.
Yeah, I think it comes down to commitment and really allowing yourself to kind of see the process through. And you know, a lot of people, I think, get so stir crazy and they get bored so easily. I mean, we live in an ADHD society where we always want to move on to the next best thing, and you know, there certainly could be I think a positive side to that too, but it's hard, you know. It's if you don't know how to commit. Positive? I mean, I look well. Okay, so let's consider the opposite. Say, for example, I don't know if my parents will listen to this or not, but they did the same job, you know, for 30, 35 years, whatever. Right. And they got their bills paid. They did a phenomenal job raising us. They always took care of me and my brothers. They were incredible. But if I'm sitting here thinking about doing the same job for 30 years, how does that make you feel? I mean, does that give you... If you enjoy it... If you enjoy it, yeah. That's the difference. If you don't enjoy it, if you're enjoying what you're doing, you've kind of won. Yeah. Right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're right. And obviously within those 30 years, there's progressions. You move up the ladder. They literally worked in the same place for 30 years. But did they enjoy it? I think they enjoyed it. Yeah, I think they liked what they did, but I think there's also something to be said for complacency. And I'm not saying my parents settled or whatever. Yeah. Not by any means. I mean, I really do think they love what they did, but a lot of people, I think, just get stuck. And again, I'm not saying they got stuck, but people just get stuck in what it is that they do on a daily basis, and they get in a place where they feel like, well, you know, I'm so deep into this, I can't get out. I can't make a step, you know, outside of this box because this is my world now, and I'm stuck in here. I can't take the risk to go out and do something that I'm really excited or passionate about. And I think that, you know, there's 2 sides to that, and it's in a sense of paradox. You gotta, if you love what you do and you're happy on a daily basis, and you go to work happy, you come home happy every day, and it's a very rewarding thing for you. That's great, but you know, I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to find, especially when they're doing the same thing for 30, 40 years straight. Yeah. And you know, you get locked into a job, you're afraid to kind of take steps outside of that box, and you just get stuck in something that doesn't make you happy. You need to be I think now these kids or even grown-ass men we've seen who keep changing their careers often, it's like you need to stick with one for a certain amount of time before to really get successful at it. Yeah. They want overnight success. I think a lot of people want that. You know, sure. me little sister, I hope she's not listening to this, but she was doing a job and I hate it. She was in university. She's done it for like a year. I hate it. I'm not doing it anymore. I can't stand it. And I told her, my lesson to her was, do you think I used to get up running every morning or getting punched in the face all the time? I couldn't stand it. I didn't like fighting. Yeah, the rewards of boxing was great, but I had to go through years and years and years of doing some stuff that I fucking hated to be able to be where I am right now, to live the life that I live now and love in life. You know? And that was my lesson to her. You've got to do stuff, and kids listen to this, if you are from whatever age, 18 to 26, you've got to really do stuff that you don't like to be able to live the life that you really want to live. Yeah, you got to pay your dues. And I think, you know, what we are seeing with the younger people is they just have this sense of entitlement. Like they deserve it because, you know, they've been told from the beginning, like, you deserve it. And I think it's good. You got to have self-value, self-worth, but like, you can't have that entitlement. You have to earn it. You have to go out there and put the blood, sweat, and tears into it, and really see what the depths, what the bottom looks like, in order to have perspective and understand how good it feels to be at the top. And then that makes it that more rewarding and that more satisfying for you. And you really do, you're a lot more, I think you have a lot higher sense of gratefulness when you reach the peaks,
Definitely, yeah. And that's kind of what that Simon says on that video. It's so good. But yeah, you have to check it out in the show notes. Yeah. That's a hard thing about now raising my kids, 2 kids, one on the way, is like how do you, what you said there, they need to see the bottom before they can get the top. Like, no, I'm not rich by no means, but I'm in a good position where I can, if I want some new shoes, they can get some new shoes.
Yeah.
Like before, when I was a kid, it was like you get some new shoes if you ever go on holiday, which is once a year. Mm-hmm. And now it's like I want to buy them shit all the time. Like how can you not spoil your kids? It's tough.
There's a quote, and this doesn't necessarily pertain to kids, but you can probably relate it to kids. Is I think as a leader, you can let someone fail without being a failure, in the sense that you don't have to. Like, yeah, you should spoil your kids. You should make sure your kids are taken care of. But along the way, there's lessons that you can kind of show them and teach them and make them, as long as they understand that, hey, it's not like this for everyone. And there may be a point in time where you can't afford a pair of new shoes, so you got to go out there and earn it or whatever. Right. Like, I don't know if I related to that quote enough. I'm trying, but I think it's very relatable.
Yeah, and we see it all the time, especially in LA compared to where I'm from. I'm sure where you're from as well. Mm-hmm. Spoiled kids. They've got absolutely everything. Mm-hmm. They've got personal trainers paying $120 an hour. Which is, I mean, it's all right for us, but but for kids, it's a tough thing. Yeah. It really is. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah, that's good.
How long we've been going? We've been going for some time. It's a great podcast. I really enjoyed it. And now, like I said, I keep telling people I'm excited to get this new site up and running. It's still not perfect yet, the Boxing Life podcast website, and they've got the recommendations on there, some things from Amazon, what I want to talk about, like the light bulbs. Kevan, you need to get some of these light bulbs, mate. The game changes. These light bulbs that it's like natural daylight. So if you live in a dark place, in a dark area where there's not much windows, or if you're from England and the skies are grey outside, these light bulbs really give you that natural light.
We need to get some down in the office in Brentwood.
Definitely, I've been telling Emma we need to get some there because, like I said, we're underground, no windows or anything. We need to get some in there. Yeah. It fills you full of vitamin D, so them will be on there, on the Boxing Life podcast website.
Get a little fountain running water down there too, and
yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And then you'll be able to. We've got all our links for our social media. You'll be able to follow us on there. And until next time. If
we spoke a bit about the Alzheimer stuff. If anybody has any questions or inquiries about that, how they can help, what they can do, and you just don't know how to get involved, or you're having trouble finding a way to get involved, please reach out to me. You can email me at Kevan, Kevan, @boxandburn.com, or you can inbox me on Instagram. It's Kevan, Kevan_Watson. But any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. You said that a little bit fast. Kevan. It's Kevan, like a van, like a transit van. It's Kevan with an A. Kevan. Van. Yeah, Kevan. That's it. All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you later. Thanks so much.